Sages, we are back, okay? It is Indigo and Mary.
Hello.
Coming to you guys for the part two, okay? Part two of the Real Housewives of New Jersey reunion. Again, we are going to do this as in a sports game, the quarters, okay?
Yes.
So, first quarter, we are going to just jump right into it, people. So,
into it, we shall Indigo.
My first quarter highlight is Joe taking his frustration out on Louis from his sister. I didn't like that. I call foul. I call foul on that.
You call foul on that.
Yeah. What do you think about that? Was that right or not?
No, it didn't make any sense. But I agree what Joe was saying, that if he goes out there and he tries to defend his woman, then they should call him a bitch boy, because that's what he's doing. If he gets involved with the woman's business, why shouldn't Teresa see him as a bitch boy? And why shouldn't Teresa see, demean Louis the same way that she's demeaning her own brother? Because like the way Joey, I think Joey is saying, listen, Teresa, the show wants me to be involved in the woman's business. Okay. So why are you demeaning me when the show puts me in the woman's business?
But that's not anybody's fault, though. Like, it's not Louis' fault if they're telling Joe Gorga to be more involved. You can't take that out on anyone if you decide to do it.
Right. But
if the show makes him a housewife, why does he?
His point is, but why is my sister demeaning me if she knows that that's the case?
He didn't have to do it.
I know he didn't have to do it, but if she knows that that's the case, and this is all, just to kind of like stir the pot, and this is the role.
Okay, I see what you're saying. She shouldn't have nothing to say.
Right, she should.
That's what you're saying, like nothing, no opinion on it.
Right, no opinion on it, just quiet.
Because the thing about it is, I do feel like that is a bitch boy move.
Right.
To sit up here and be in the women's business. I don't give a fuck who asked you.
But you know who else is in the women's business? I don't see anybody calling him a bitch boy.
Who?
And don't get me wrong, I love him to death.
Who?
Frank Catania.
I knew you was gonna say it.
I love, and you know me. I love me, Frank Catania.
Wait a minute.
But Frank Catania's all up in the women's business too. And do we hear anybody calling Frank Catania bitch boy?
But I'm gonna tell you what. First of all, two reasons. First of all, he is big.
Thank you, Frank, Joey. And Frank compares their penis sizes on my interview. Go check out the interview. But let's get back. Okay.
But the reason why, though, is because, and I've said this previous while we talked too, Frank has a way of being balanced.
Yeah.
He has a way of being balanced. Joey, and I call him Joey. Joey does not. And actually, honestly, when they go into that mode, I don't know if you saw my review, but they all have women names.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Joe is Jenny and Frank is Francesca sometimes. And that's just, and I do call them out when they do that. Yeah. Because, there's some times where I call them out and I call out Frank. But Frank, overall, though, I would say 80% he's balanced. Which is the reason why he's not going to be called bitch boy.
Right.
Joey goes off of his little man syndrome, his feelings, and it's like, how dare, it's just, he just does way too much. Okay, now.
Okay.
Dolores saying, enough of Frank staying with her. And the reason why that was a highlight in this first quarter for me, and I'm referring to, you know, Andy asking her about Frank and her new boyfriend, Paul.
Right.
And Dolores saying that, you know, enough of Frank staying with her. And what's the difference between, like, what's the difference between now? I guess my question is, what's the difference between now and, because it was all good before,
right?
And now it's not. It's Paul.
It's Paul with the Irish brogue. Okay, he's the one. He is the difference now, and we all know it.
Yeah, and she's not admitting to it. She's not saying it, and that
she would never admit to it.
That gets on my nerves a bit. I'm gonna be honest, because it's not like you have to place any kind of blame on anyone, but just be honest.
I just want to go back to one thing. How powerful is Teresa that she has Andy Cohen as a mediator in a family argument?
Girl, first of all, Andy, I didn't like that. Andy was kissing Joey's ass. I didn't like it. That's how I felt.
I mean, but for Andy to get up, go backstage.
True. I see
to try to
for him to even care.
Exactly.
For him to give a fuck.
Exactly. Because how many times have people have gotten up, stormed off?
You know what?
I quit. I don't care. And Andy just sits there like
with his cards, waiting for them to come back.
Exactly. No,
you're
Andy
right.
Got up, went back there,
you're absolutely
served as family motherfucking counselor.
You're right.
Okay.
You're absolutely, like, I noticed that. My mind went somewhere else, but I'm pulling my mind back.
But you noticed that?
I noticed it. I definitely noticed it. I didn't know why. My mind was going all over the place on why.
As family counselor, trying to bring them back together. Joey,
and he was totally on Joey's side.
Sit back here, have a drink, relax. Come on, Teresa, let's go.
He was totally on Joey's side.
Have you ever seen Andy to do that for anyone?
No. Zip.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, here's back to a point that you said earlier. Maybe he was on the side so much because a part of that shit is because production and producers told Joey to do this.
Right.
So it's their fault.
Sure, but Andy can still sit there and not give a fuck.
Well, it's true, because he did that with Phaedra. Phaedra from Real Housewives of Atlanta. She said that so-and-so, I ain't even gonna say his name because I don't even want to try to be sued, my little old tiny channel. But that she heard it from the initials C and K. And both of them was just like dismissed that next season. Nobody fought for them. Nobody they ain't been back. You know, so we do know that producers do talk in people's ear and tell them what to say and what to do. Right. You know, but Andy ain't never gave a fuck.
No, Andy never gave a fuck.
Why does he give a fuck? Well, what's your first quarter highlights?
My first quarter highlights were when Andy got up and played family counselor, because Teresa is that fucking powerful that he was like, oh shit, let me do something about this. This whole shit is imploding right before my very eyes. So let me go back there. And then how everyone was like involved in this whole fucking thing. It was at first, it was like Joey, Margaret's Joe was back there. And how Teresa was like, oh, because of him too. And Margaret's Joe fucking laughed. She was like, I'm out of here.
She called him so many names in his face.
I know, she's horrible. She don't give a shit. She's horrible.
Well, he didn't even say, but okay, never mind. Go ahead.
He didn't even blink. He was like, I'm out of here. And then
you know when he went to go tell Margaret, I'm sure he was like, I'm telling my wife. I'm telling my wife on your ass. That's all I was thinking. I was like, ooh, he gonna tell Margaret what you said. He gonna tell Margaret, you gonna be in trouble. That's all I was thinking. He is gonna tell Margaret. He is going to tell Margaret. He's like, I'm gonna get Margaret. Like, you know how people be like, I'm gonna get my mama.
Yeah, I'm gonna get Margaret. You in trouble.
Yeah,
Margaret gonna kick your ass.
Okay, girl.
Then we got Louis, and then we got Andy, the family counselor, and then Melissa comes storming back there. He doesn't want to do it. Forget it. Come on.
She was like, you know, she's horrible. She's, you know, that she's unbelievable, ridiculous. Just ignore her. And then she stomped away. Okay. I was like, girl, what was the purpose of that? If you came to get your husband, get your husband.
Thank you. Thank you.
I said this in a previous preview. I said she just whenever Teresa and Joe are going at it, Melissa sometimes she will go over there to their area. But I think it's just to be seen.
I think so.
Because she doesn't cause a resolution. She doesn't
productive.
Yeah.
She doesn't do anything productive. Yes.
And this was a perfect example also. She went over there and said, just ignore her. She's ridiculous. And then she walked away. I was like, bitch, you leaving without your husband. Aren't you forgetting something?
Yes. Aren't you forgetting something? Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
So that was my highlight, basically, of that
first quarter. Second quarter.
Family counselor. Yes.
He did 100%. And that was unusual. Second quarter, the kids. So my highlight from this segment was Frank telling Gabby that her man does not please her sexually. Yes. I had a problem with that when he said it.
Yes, me too. I had a problem with that from the get-go.
And definitely. I don't know if that's okay. I'm glad to hear you say you had a problem too, because sometimes I wonder if I'm a prude.
No. That's just crossing a boundary. That's being way too comfortable with your kid. No, that's no. That's way too much. I couldn't imagine,
and may my father, may he rest in peace. Mm-hmm. But there's no way that would be said.
Right.
You know, we don't talk about.
My highlight with this was about the Jennifer kids needing that, don't worry, your kids can just go to therapy, and how Teresa bounced that back to Margaret.
Well, it is. Margaret said it.
No, but about Margaret's stepkids.
Oh, well, I was going to do that. That was my number 2. Because the thing about it is, who are you to talk about kids healing? You don't know nothing about kids healing. Your kids are still, all of them ain't healed.
Exactly.
And people have different focuses, and it's okay. Like I do and make a lot of sacrifices for my child.
Try to deflect and say that Joe and I have a combined 6 children, and only one we have a strained relationship with. I'm sorry, Margaret, that is one too many.
Thank you. I
didn't like that statement either.
I agree.
Only one is strained. That is one too many.
She cares about herself. And honestly, I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I'm not a psychologist or a psychotherapist or anything like that, but I think that Margaret is a narcissist. She has narcissistic behavior.
Yes, she does.
To not give a fuck about her children, that's very narcissistic. That is a narcissistic mother who would even fucking say they'll go to therapy and they're resilient, they'll get over it.
Exactly. For someone to say that is very narcissistic.
It is.
And my other highlight was Teresa, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? Teresa motherfucking Giudice.
I loved it. I love that moment, girl. What did you think of that moment?
I loved it. I love Teresa. I love Teresa and those little petty little. I love it. I love her. I love her.
You better love yourself, okay?
Of course.
We have to love ourselves. I learned the hard way. You gotta love yourself first. You have to love yourself.
Margaret, damn right, Margaret. You wish you could look like that.
She said,
after, and she just had surgery a couple of days before filming that, right? Oh, please.
Now this cracked me up. I said, get it, Teresa. Because she said, well, I look like this. She said, so of course there's haters. She said, if I look like Margaret, then there probably wouldn't be any.
Yeah. If he was dating someone like Margaret,
then it wouldn't be nothing.
There wouldn't be any haters. But he's dating Teresa Giudice.
Girl,
look at me.
I said, you
mirror, mirror on the wall.
Because you know what I just read right before that? on the, social media, they said that Teresa's downfall is her inability to articulate herself.
Right.
Okay. And I understand. I
think she articulated herself very well in that moment.
Yes, she did.
Yes, she did.
Third quarter, baby.
Jackie's time to shine. It was Jackie's moment.
It
in the third quarter, but it was ruined.
How?
It was ruined by Margaret and Teresa. They always wind up like all roads lead back to Margaret and Teresa. Jackie had her little moment.
No, she did have a good moment.
She had a good moment. She talked about.
Because I also want to say, her
road to recovery and everything that she's doing, and she had a nice moment. And then before you knew it, Jennifer, Margaret, and Jackie were all arguing again.
Well, what? Because that's them bitches.
Exactly.
But I want to say this. I want to say it because I did a little note in our previous roundup or review, but I do now agree with you with the fat shaming. Okay.
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I want to say that. I want to go on record and say that I dug deeper.
Right.
To go in and see, and I agree with you that Teresa was doing some fat shaming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she was.
Because I was only looking at it like
she could deny it all she wants.
I'm not dumb. But I was looking at it from a cultural point of view.
Right.
And from my culture, saying you got a jiggly booty, like that's been celebrated. Just watch a rap video.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
But getting out of that, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
No, she was totally fat shaming her. Yeah, she was totally fat shaming her. And she'll keep denying it until her dying day.
She apologized.
That was not an apology. That was a Teresa Giudice apology. That was a Teresa Giudice apology. Come on. Don't you know this? There is two types of apologies. Indigo.
She did a sincere one when she said about the food. She said that she looked at Margaret and said that for that. She said, I am sorry. Sorry. Now the other one, that was half-assed, but
that's a Teresa Giudice apology. The other one,
but for the food, she said for the food one, she said that I do apologize.
Yes.
And then the other one, she was like, it was half-assed.
Whatever.
She was like, if you had felt like some kind of way ever in time, possibly in the past,
or maybe in the future.
Yeah, exactly. Now that one was bullshit. Which she shouldn't even did it. Like if I don't feel like, hey, unapologetically Sage, baby. I'm very unapologetic for things that I don't feel like I need to apologize for. So I wouldn't have did it if I was her. But that first one, I feel like it was sincere when they were talking about that food you be eating or whatever she said.
Yes.
She
never misses a meal. Margaret never misses a meal. That's what she said. Margaret never misses a meal. But
the gender, moment. What about on that same note? Hold on now. Margaret said Jennifer was no lightweight. Is that fat shaming? Because from what I researched, that's fat shaming too. That's fat shaming.
I don't think that she was talking about her weight. She was talking about her drinking.
She said they dropped them. They dropped her. And she said, come on now, she's no lightweight. They dropped her. They were carrying her and they dropped her.
Okay. So that is fat shaming.
And she said they dropped her because she's no lightweight.
That is definitely fat shaming. Okay, yes, that's fat shaming.
I was like, from the research I did, that falls under that same category.
That is definitely fat shaming.
Yeah, they dropped her. And she was laughing and she said, well, come on, she's no lightweight.
Oh no, that's definitely fat shaming. No, that's.
And I was like, okay. Now, and here's the thing though, where are we going to draw the line at? Because housewives talk about each other all the time.
Yeah, true.
Where are we going to draw the line at?
True.
I don't know where the line is at anymore.
I don't know what. Yeah.
Because I really don't see anything wrong with. I mean, I do recognize it as fat shaming, but if we just look at it like this is just lightweight, just You know, if they wasn't on the show, they wouldn't be saying that to each other.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I know what you mean.
What's your third quarter highlights?
My third quarter highlights are how poor Jackie just wants to shine, and her shine keeps getting dulled by how basically Margaret triggers the fuck out of Teresa and Jennifer. Like, she's just like a trigger, especially for Jennifer.
She is, yeah. She
is. And you know, and nobody else gets to shine because everybody just winds up yelling at Margaret. All roads lead.
Why can't Margaret shut up? Can Margaret ever shut the fuck up?
Because Margaret's a fucking narcissist and she wants all the attention.
I was gonna say
Margaret's fucking loving this. Margaret is loving the fact that she is the trigger. Okay?
She is.
Margaret is fucking loving it.
She is.
Okay, and everybody else is just like being swallowed up by this black hole of negativity. Like, Dolores doesn't even get her time to shine because then it breaks out into a side argument. Jackie's time to shine breaks out into a side argument. Melissa's arguing with Teresa and Jennifer, and it all leads back to Margaret. Somehow, it all led back to Margaret. And she's fucking loving it.
It does lead back to her.
It all leads back to Margaret. Then
she keeps lying too. She keeps lying.
Yeah, she keeps lying.
And it's saying we have 8 minutes.
And then we have Bill and Jennifer's affair kicking off the fourth quarter. And the fallout, you know, and then it all led back to Margaret.
Okay, so let me interject real quick because this is another Margaret lie.
Right.
Margaret said to Jennifer, before you even came on the show, someone was like, there's a girl coming on the show. She's a doctor's wife. He's fooling around with someone in the office. Margaret said that.
Yes, she did.
But Margaret told Teresa more than one time, no one's talking to me. Who would tell me anything? Who would talk to me? Who would be telling me anything? I don't hear anything.
Yes, I don't know anybody.
6 episodes before, she said that Louis' family member was talking to her. I've caught her, and I know it's not just me. Like, I'm not just like a great detective, you know, detective Inspector Gadget or whatever, but
Nancy Drew, you know, like
the thing, it's not hard.
Right.
One episode, she's telling us who she heard some shit from. Then the very next episode, she's saying to Teresa, nobody would tell me anything.
Yeah.
Make up your mind.
Make up your mind.
You're a liar.
Yeah.
And it's hard for me to connect with liars. I don't know that path. And she just now, I'm just like, do you know that you a liar?
Mm-hmm.
You keep telling Teresa that nobody would tell you anything. No one's talking to you. No one's talking to you. But then whenever you want to, you pull it out your pocket that what somebody told you. Those two things can't be true at the same time.
Exactly. I know they can't be.
And
Margaret, make up your mind. Margaret, make up a story and stick to it. Stick to your story, girl. Paging Margaret, stick to your story.
Jennifer's postcards.
Girl, I love that. That should crack me up. When she went behind her chair and pulled out the supersized.
And so, Andy, hold on.
Supersized receipts. I'm pulling out my supersized receipts. It was petty.
Have you heard about Monique's binder?
Yes, I've heard about Monique's binder.
Which moment? Because that was epic too. Monique's binder, no one can ever take away from Monique's binder. Okay, that's me. That is Indigo. That's how organized I am. Me and my mom watched that episode together. We didn't know she was gonna pull a binder out. And as soon as we saw it, my mom said, that's you. I'm
the one to print out a supersized IG post. So Jennifer is me. I'm the one to go to Staples and print out like the 11 by 14s.
We both would have receipts in our own different way because I am the binder with the tabs. Okay, very organized, different colors and everything. Colors are
the type to go to Staples and say, okay, I need to print this and an 11 by 14.
That's your ass. You're like, okay,
and have some chicken Staples looking at me
like
I'm crazy. Like, okay, she wants this IG post in 11 by 14. Yes, this IG post in 11 by 14.
Exactly. That is so us. Like, I am the binder. You are the big poster.
Yeah, the big poster. The big poster.
Yeah. Hell yeah, because you would be able to tell me, because I would be like, do you really feel like that is necessary to do it that big? And you would be like,
yes. 11 by 14, please. That would be me. And of course, all roads like back to Margaret, and everybody's screaming at Margaret. And poor Andy is like, shut the fuck up. My brain is going to explode.
He should have took aspirin.
Yes, he should have. He should have took an aspirin. He should have took a Valium. He should have took a Xanax. He should have took a Klonopin and 3 shots before he sat down with these bitches.
Girl. Yes. I don't know why he would be surprised. But speaking of watching it with, my mom, she had said they just don't respect him. And I and it just took me back to like, when did they respect him? And I guess they did used to. It's just so far back to where I can't remember.
Season 1, I was going to say, maybe season 1, they respected him. Hi, Andy. And by season 2, Teresa's flinging him across the side.
Yeah, I was going to say, ever since he got pushed or whatever, I mean... And plus, he's messy. I think part of the reason, and we can go out on this, like, what's the reason why you think he's not respected anymore? Like, I feel like...
Because he's messy. Because he's messy.
I was going to say, I think because he's just so messy.
And they're like, Andy let us get away with it. We butter him up,
I think it's because he causes it. And I think that's where, because on Watch What Happens Live, he always causes
Yes.
shit.
Yes, he does.
And I think that's where he lost respect, because it's not, I don't know, there's something about that causing dissension.
Yes.
Because now, that's a whole nother storyline on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills now. The shit that he caused.
Yes, the shit that he caused, exactly.
So it's hard to respect somebody who, I don't know, it would be hard for me to respect somebody who.
Yes, I know. And then the housewives have leverage on him because he caused the shit. And it's just
and they party with him. Some of them do.
Messy.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time.
So much fun.
Dinner with your man, girl.
Yeah, I'm gonna go dinner with my man.
So where you guys going?
Probably a Spanish place.
I love Spanish food. Do you have a favorite dish? I was in culinary. I'm in culinary, so.
Yeah, I'll probably just get like grilled steak with fried plantains and salad. That's my usual go-to.
At a Spanish place, you're gonna get steak.
Yeah, that's my go-to.
All right. All right. Well, I will see you later.
All right, girl.
Enough for me. Savor it, because I'm trying to do a cleansing thing, so I've just been eating like salads.
Oh.
So eat for me.
I will, girl.